This is Higher Maths, it's practice paper F, and we're working on question 5 in the calculator paper. Right, so what we've got here is we've got a sequence that's defined by a recurrence relation, okay? And if u1 equals 25, write down the value of b. Okay, so let's go ahead and we'll do part A first of all. So for part A, what I'll do is I'll start by writing down the recurrence relation here, so I've got it all together. That's going to be plus b, and I know that u0 is equal to 0. So if I try to find out what u1 is equal to, so u1 would be equal to the value a, and that would be 0 in there plus b, okay? And I know that from the question u1 is equal to 25, so that equals 25. So from there I've got 0a, so I've got b is just equal to 25. So that's that part of the question complete. Let's move on to part B. Given that u3 is equal to 31, find the possible values of a. So that's a 4-mark question. Okay. Right, so let's build up a bit and we'll try to find out u2, and then we'll go forward and we'll work out u3 from there. And what we'll have is we'll probably have some sort of equation for that, and we'll just be able to solve that, I'm sure, when we work through. So let's go for u2. So u2 is going to be equal to, so let's see, we still don't know what a is, so that'll be a. We know what u1 is, the term before this one, it's 25, okay, so 25. And if that's 25 there, what we've got is we've got plus another 25, which will be the value for b, and that will be u2. Right, u3, what we know is we've got u3 is going to be equal to, and it's going to be the same recurrence relation, but we're going to substitute this in as the u2 that will go in there. So I've got the a, got an open bracket, a 25 plus 25, so that's the whole thing going in there as the u2 value. And I've got a plus 25 here on at the end. And I also know that that's equal to 31 from the question. Okay. What I'll then do is I'll multiply all of this out. So a times a would give me a squared, 25a squared here. So I've got 25a squared. So a times the 25 will give me plus 25a. And what I've got is I've got plus 25 is equal to 31. And what I'll do is I'll just gather that together all on the left hand side. So I've got 25a squared plus 25a, and that's going to be minus 6 that's going to be there. And what I'm going to have to do is to factorise that out. So I'll put that into 2 brackets. If you would struggle to do this one, you can also use the quadratic formula to work it out if that's any better for you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just factorise it out by looking at 5a there, and just by trial and error, that'll be a 6 there, a 1 there, and what I've got is a plus and a minus. And that should work out. If I multiply this out, it should come to the answer that I've got there. So that's going to be 25a squared, that's going to be 30, that's going to be minus 5 will take me to the 25a minus 6. So I've got that right there. From there I can work out my values for a, so 5a minus 1 equals 0. So what I can say here is a is equal to 1 coming over first of all, divided by the 5. So a is equal to 1/5. Or what I can say is, I can say that 5a plus 6 equals 0. So take the 6 over, 6 going over first of all will be a minus 6, divided by the 5, so it'll be minus 6 over 5. And that'll be the values of a, the possible values. Let's move on to part C, okay, and find the limit of this sequence. And it says the sequence tends to a limit as n tends towards infinity. Find the limit of the sequence. So what I can say is, for the 2 values that I've got, first of all, looking at this one, I'll say that a limit does not exist for a equal to minus 6 upon 5, and the reason for that is since the minus 6 over 5 is less than the minus 1 that we'd be looking for. Okay, and I'll show you what I mean by that by stating the next part. So I'll say that a limit exists limit exists for a equal to 1 over 5 since it lies in between minus 1 and 1. Okay, so the fifth lies in there in between the minus 1 and the 1. Okay, so a limit exists. I'm going to let L be my limit, and I'll substitute into the equation. So wherever I see this part here, un plus 1 and un, I'm going to substitute L in there. Okay, I know the value of A, and I know the value of B being 25. Right, so just to go ahead with this one here, what I'll go for is, I'll go for L is equal to, and it would be 1/5 L plus 25. What I'll then do is I'll take the fifth L over to this side. Remember that's 1L, so I'm just going to write it in, 1L, and I'm going to subtract 1/5 L, and that now equals 25. So subtracting that gives me 4/5 L equals 25. And from there, what I can do is I can just multiply by 5. So 5 times that will give me 125 and divide it by 4. So L is equal to 125 all over 4. And that would be the limit complete. Okay, the limit tends towards the 125 over 4. Right, let's look at the marks for this question. So first thing for part A, 1 mark for getting B. For this section B, we've got 4 marks to give. I'm going to give 1 mark for getting the U2 in this form here. I'll go for the next value mark would be for this one here, pulling that together. And next one would be for gathering it all together and factorising it to there. And finally, for getting the 2 values, the possible values for A. So that's 5 marks in total so far. Limited just to give 2 marks for this side here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give 1 mark for substituting into the formula like this, or using the formula that you've been taught, and finally for getting the value of the limit. Okay, so a total of 7 marks up for grabs here, and that's the question complete.